Right now on Eyewitness News at 5, a historic hurricane is barreling its way through the Caribbean. Irma's latest target, Puerto Rico and the British Virgin Islands. The storm is lashing the islands at this moment with extreme winds and ferocious flooding.
The state of Florida could be in Irma's crosshairs this weekend, and tourists and residents in Key West are not taking any chances. A steady stream of cars heading out of the Keys and toward Miami. The Key West airport closes tonight. Now a look inside the eye of the monster. A crew from the National Oceanic Atmospheric Administration flew into Irma's eye to get readings on its strength and path. The eye of this storm is huge and dwarfs entire islands. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Yuki Washington.
I'm Jessica Dean. Hurricane Irma is an extremely dangerous Category 5 storm, and it's expected to strengthen even more. Irma is already the strongest Atlantic hurricane in history. Its track is uncertain, but people in Florida aren't taking any chances. Preparations are underway in Key West. These photographs were sent to us by Paul Brady, who lives there, and you see the boards are up on many buildings. Irma has already slammed into St. Kitts, St. Martin, and Puerto Rico. The British Virgin Islands are now taking a direct hit. And it hit St. Martin with 185-mile-an-hour winds and heavy flooding. This is what it looked like as the storm pounded the tiny Caribbean island earlier today, and we're told the damage there is devastating. Now this is St. Martin after Irma. This view from a balcony shows the flooded harbor, boats, flooded cars, and debris there in the water. Island officials say the 4 most solid buildings on St. Martin have been destroyed.
Meteorologist Kate Bilo is tracking this historic hurricane very closely. Let's find out where it is right now. Kate?
And Yuki and Jessica, this thing still, again, a monster and still dealing with the impacts of this through the Lesser Antilles areas that took a direct hit late last night or early this morning, still dealing with the outer bands. Just look at the size of this storm. The eye moving right over the British Virgin Islands, Tortola, St. John, places like that, getting a direct hit right now. Puerto Rico in the outer bands as well. The eye likely not going to make a landfall over Puerto Rico, but getting close enough to feel those Category 5 impacts. One of the strongest hurricanes at landfall on record with 185-mile-per-hour sustained winds when it moved over Barbuda, Anguilla, and now the British Virgin Islands right now. And we do have 3 things to talk about in the tropics. Hurricane Irma, now we have Hurricane Jose, and also Tropical Storm Katia. We'll talk about all 3 of those. Katia, we're just hearing, has also been upgraded to a hurricane as of the past minute or so. So we now have 3 hurricanes to talk about, but the one that bears the most risk for the continental United States, of course, is Major Hurricane Irma. Still a dangerous Category 5 hurricane, and it has not really weakened much at all. If anything, it's gaining strength. It moves over these small islands. Not enough friction there to really slow this storm down or weaken it at all. So right now, the British Virgin Islands taking a direct hit with winds at 185 miles an hour sustained, central pressure at 914 millibars. Very, very low and just continuing to strengthen. Irma will stay a Category 5 through at least Friday. Now take a look at the latest track from the National Hurricane Center. This has been tweaked a bit. Yesterday, we had that track going up the western coast of Florida. Now the track expected to go along the eastern coast of Florida. The impacts would be slightly lessened if the storm were to stay offshore and go parallel to Florida versus making a direct landfall. But we're still talking about a Category 4 hurricane, possibly making a direct hit near Miami during the day on Sunday. Coming up, we'll talk more about Hurricane Jose and how this is impacting Irma's path. And we'll talk about the weather here at home as well. We've got some rain impacting your evening commute. But for now, Yuki and Jessica, back over to you.
And Kate, as you clearly showed us, Irma is a storm to be taken seriously, and many in the potential path are doing just that.
CBS News reporter Kenneth Craig is in Miami Beach, where people are wasting no time getting ready.
Irma is closing in on Puerto Rico, lashing the U.S. territory with strong winds and drenching rain. Forecasters expect it to pass just north of the island tonight. The Category 5 storm pummeled several Caribbean islands with 185-mile-an-hour winds overnight. Floodwaters swamped boats and left cars underwater on St. Martin. Florida's governor is warning people to prepare for a worst-case scenario when it hits the U.S. mainland on Sunday.
I cannot stress this enough. Do not ignore evacuation orders.
Tampa's mayor was more blunt.
This ain't Indiana. This is serious stuff, and you will die.
People are leaving the Florida Keys on the only road in and out of the island chain ahead of tonight's mandatory evacuation. Here on Miami Beach, officials started handing out sandbags yesterday. Today, this line of cars to get them is more than 4 hours long. What concerns you the most?
Flooding. Flooding.
Adriana Dreyfus isn't taking any chances. Her parents lost everything during Hurricane Andrew. Today, she picked up 10 sandbags. She plans to secure her family home and then hit the road.
We have reservations in Orlando, but it's heading that way too. My sister lives in Orlando as well. Supermarkets, gas is a problem there as well.
She's one of many people in South Florida desperately hoping that what happened with Harvey in Houston doesn't repeat itself here. Kenneth Craig for CBS 3 Eyewitness News.